We are back and getting set for the Rangers and the Edmonton Oilers. Closed captioning tonight is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out and play. Let's check out our Audi goaltending matchup. Henrik Lundqvist back in goal. He is tied for third in the league in wins. He's dropped to ninth in goals against average. Save percentage still right up there amongst the league leaders. He is third in the league at .933. Across the way is Anders Nielsen. Last night, the former Ranger, Cam Talbot, made 47 saves in beating Boston in Boston. Anders Nielsen, who beat the Rangers in Edmonton, gets the start. It is his sixth in the last 7 games. There's the captain, Ryan McDonagh, who will start the game on right defense, paired with Mark Stahl. And the Rangers' number 1 line. Work needs to be done by the linesman. Patch in the ice. All right. Smooth out any rut that's there.
And Mr. Lundqvist right now is thinking, boy, I hope they just keep the puck down on the other end all period, and that'll be fine. Won't be an issue.
Alain Vigneault. As Al mentioned, the Rangers have been very calm. The coaching staff has been calm. Not looking to shake things up because of what you pointed out, Joe. There have been those stretches of real good play.
Yeah, and he talked to, Alain Vigneault talked yesterday about, continuing to push this group and getting the best players to, do their talking on the ice. He needs a better effort out of his 4 players.
Brassard, Zuccarello, and Nash open up with Stahl and McDonagh. Edmonton Oilers have won 6 in a row, and right now they are in 3rd place in the Pacific Division, and they are in playoff position. The puck in deep. Taylor Hall's got it. The lineup's coming in at the top of your screen. That pass tip played back to Darnell Nurse. The shot blocked. Starting lineup brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance.
Yeah, new line for Edmonton, and Hall is playing on the wing with Nugent Hopkins as the center iceman, and instead of Draisaitl.
On the ice now is number 12, Rob Klinkhammer. This is his first game since October the 27th. He was out with a foot injury and missed 20 games. Here's Miller off the turnover, shooting high. JT Miller centering Chris Kreider and Jesper Fast. Dylan McElrath and Keith Yandel continuing as a pair on defense. Yandel lifts it back into the Edmonton zone. And Darnell Nurse, the rookie defenseman, plays it. Off the boards, all the way down. This is an icing as Brady Shea makes his NHL debut wearing number 76. University of Minnesota star for 3 years. And here he is in the NHL.
Well, we talked about this, Sam, but I was impressed with what we saw in training camp. This is a kid that can really skate. He's been used more as a defensive type of defenseman in his career at Minnesota, but they do think that he's got offensive potential.
So the thing that really stuck out for us, I know for me, was his great skating ability. And you talked about it being compared to the way Ryan McDonagh skates.
Yeah, and it's effortless, Sam. He's just one of those players that so smooth with the way he skates, has speed.
Kevin Hayes trying to hit Stallberg. The line here is Hayes centering Oscar Lindberg on the left, Victor Stallberg on the right. Boyle and Shea, the defensive pair, and a penalty call. A hooking call.
Oscar Lindberg, I believe.
Oscar Lindberg in the offensive zone gets called, and the Rangers will be shorthanded. 2:08 into the game.
First NHL shift for Brady Shea as well. So offensive zone stuff. There you see Lindberg. Let's see where the stick is. Wasn't much. They got him on the right leg. If that's any indication of the way they're going to call the game, this will be tight tonight.
Lord Dwyer and Dean Morton are the referees tonight. Cormier and Brian Pansich are the linesmen. Lindberg for hooking at 2:08.
And now McDonagh goes back to his left side to pair with McElrath to kill this penalty.
The Oilers power play just 2 for 19 over the last 7 games. Rangers penalty killing is 6th in the league. And they're 12 for 14 over the last 5 games on the penalty kill. This is Leon Draisaitl, number 29. Checked along the boards by Mark Stahl. Stallberg and Nash are on with Stahl and Boyle. Draisaitl plays it deep. The touch pass back to Nugent Hopkins. And out to Draisaitl. Big shot blocked in front. Did not get through. And taken away by Nash, who skates it clear. Nash with Stallberg. Nash circles back and kills some time. Good play by Rick Nash. Fired all the way down by Mark Stahl on goal off the chest of Anders Nielsen. Good hustle for the puck by Dominic Moore. Moore and Foster on. Mark Letestu, number 55, comes away with it for Edmonton. 40 seconds to go in the Oilers power play. Now Andrei Sekera, who had the game-winning goal in overtime in Boston last time, is on, number 2. Jordan Eberle took a hit from Foss. The back pass touched over to Sekera. Sekera looking for a lane. Good job by Foss on him. Letestu in deep. Puck to Eberle. Quick shot saved by Lundqvist. Sekera's shot deflected wide by Lauri Korpikoski. He was tough around the net. He showed that in Edmonton. Here he is, number 28. And the hat trick finished off with that long empty net goal. Sekera's shot blocked by Fost. Jesper Fost out to Oscar Lindberg, just back out of the penalty box. Good penalty kill by the Rangers. New shots on goal for Edmonton. Takeaway by Brady Shea. And it's cleared away by Sekera. And Anton Lander clearing it out to Rod Klinkhammer. Klinkhammer, number 12. Out to the point man, Eric Greiba. Zuccarello almost stole it away. Klinkhammer winds up. Big slot shot, a save by Lundqvist. Klinkhammer again. Toward the net. Chance for Lander. He got knocked down on the play. Good play by Brady Shea. Rangers come out. Nash drops it off. Zuccarello moves deep. Forced back by Brandon Davidson. Finds Yandel for the shot blocked. Zuccarello missed. Boyle for Nash. Out to Yandel. Now to Zuccarello with room. He scores! Matt Zuccarello with a goal in 3 straight games. And the Rangers lead 1-0.
Now the Rangers start in their own zone with a good block of the play, and then once it gets down to the other end, the Rangers just stay with it. One shot's blocked, and then the fake shot, and Zuccarello with the wrist shot. Boy, he can shoot it. This is a beautiful fake of the shot. And then Zuccarello looked like it might have deflected on the way in. Either way, Zuccarello's shooting the puck, and when he does that, good things happen.
Nice when we feature somebody right at the top and he comes through for us.
Yeah, it's like the first time we've done that in 2 months.
Every once in a while. Rangers grab the lead. Justin Schultz takes it deep, checked by Mark Stahl. JT Miller is there. And now Chris Kreider banks it off the glass, but he hit the referee, Keith Martin, who looks at him and says, "What are you shooting the puck at me for?" Kept in by Nikita Nikitin, number 86, but is played around the boards by McDonough to Stahl. Zuccarello gets the goal as 14. He leads the team. Keith Yandel and Rick Nash get the assist at 5:04. And the Rangers, first goal, the team that has had a great record thus far this season, scoring first. Icing whistled against the Oilers. Rangers 14-1-2 this season when they score the first goal of the game.
Now a quick change for the Rangers. The Rangers negated an icing of their own because Emerson Edom got in to negate the icing. And by doing that, they forced Edmonton to ice the puck. And the Rangers get a change with a more offensive line to take the offensive zone faceoff.
Jordan Eberle comes out with the puck. So Zuccarello looking up the video board, seeing the stats, showing him leading the team in goals and points. Hayes had it knocked away. Eberle has it for Edmonton. Yandel clears it out. 6:20 gone by, first period. Rangers have the lead.
Well, when we talked to Todd McClellan, the Edmonton coach, before the game and said, what do you need to do anything any differently from the 7-5 win? He says, yeah, not give them 5 goals. He says, we know they're coming out. And he said, you know what, they're having a few issues. But he says, I think that they're a top 5 team in this league, and they'll straighten those things out.
Good play at the blue line by Dan Boyle. Around the boards and a hit by Tanner Glass on Brandon Davidson. The Testu able to get it out of the zone. Rangers have it back. Quick pass ahead from Brady Shea. Glass drives Davidson into the boards again. And a takeaway by Brady Shea. He's not bashful. He pinched in confidently.
On every shift, Sam, every shift he's played, he's been in there offensively, stepping in. We told John Giannone was nervous, but he does not look nervous here in the early going.
21 years old. Minnesota native. A pass broken up by Brady Shea in front. This is Nikita Nikitin in his second game of the season with the Oilers. Shea with a lead to Nash. Nash bursts in. Nash to the net. Save by Nielsen. Oh, great move by Rick Nash.
I'm telling you what a shift by Brady Shea again. In his own zone, going back to get it. He covered up for a mistake that Dan Boyle made with the puck by making a defensive play, then ended up with the puck and fed Nash for the rush.
8 minutes gone by here in the first. Taylor Hall with the puck. Taylor Hall, amongst the leaders in the NHL in scoring, having an outstanding season. What a game he had against the Rangers with 2 goals and 2 assists. Jordan Eberle tied up. The takeaway. Jesper Fast has it. Drops it back. Mark Stahl over to McDonough. Moves. Shoots. That was a pass for Kreider, who tipped it wide. Nice play by McDonough. Kreider controlling. Checked by Sekera. Fast out to McDonough. The one-timer. Deflection by Mark Stahl. Just missed. Nugent Hopkins. Rangers very aggressive in the offensive zone. Their forecheck has been excellent.
Well, Edmonton looks like they played an overtime game last night in Boston. They were outshot badly in that game. And the Rangers are doing the right thing. They're just jumping all over them early.
Kevin Hayes. Yandel moves it to McElrath and ahead to Victor Stahlberg. Stahlberg sending it in. Ryder takes a hit from Lindbergh. Lander able to move it out of the zone, and Lindbergh takes it back. Ryder trying to play it ahead. The Rangers break it up in the neutral zone. Davidson hit by Lindbergh. Ooh, knocked it down hard. Ryder battles Lindbergh. Puck played out in front, taken back by Pakarinen. Jiro Pakarinen from Finland sends it in. And Dan Boyle back to get it. Down the midway point of the first period. Rangers with 5 shots on goal. Edmonton 3. Rangers a 1-0 lead. Cross from Justin Schultz to Matt Hendricks. The Testu after. Shea is there to move it quickly. Shot by Hendricks wide. Down comes Schultz. His shot blocked in front by Brady Shea.
I'll tell you what, Shea, is every shift he's been not just effective, but real good. Icing there, but Shea has made some real heady plays, including a couple of plays that ends up leading to this. There he is with the puck. Finds Rick Nash. Nash just turns on the speed. That's a good save by Nielsen with the left leg. Nielsen is a big, tall goaltender, 6'5", and he used the long legs to make that save.
Draisaitl and Dominic Moore for the face-off. Rangers control it. Moore, Edom, and Tanner Glass. Did not hear it earlier. The Rangers put a penalty upcoming on Taylor Hall for tripping Derek Brassard. There's McDonough. Rangers put Jarrett Stoll on waivers, and he was claimed by Minnesota. Tripping call. Rangers get their first power play of the game. They have a 1-0 lead thanks to the goal by that man, Matt Zuccarello. We have our chief scout, John Giannone, watching Brady Shea. Here's John between the benches.
Yeah, Sam, right before he jumped on for his first shift, he had a couple words with Keith Yandle, probably words to calm him down and maybe encourage him. The play that he's made so far, and Joe, you pointed out several of them, that got the most attention from his bench, from his teammates, was the play in front of the net when he actually made the skate save. Anton Lander, right after this, complained that he was tripped. He thought it should have been a penalty. The referee, Dean Morton, told him flat out that was just a good shoulder check, and it actually preceded the goal. Ryan McDonough will be in studio to talk with Al in the first intermission. I'm sure Brady Shea will come up in conversation, and we have Anson Carter to do the analysis, guys.
Thanks, John. This Rangers power play brought to you by Volkswagen. Rangers power play 6th in the league. Set up to McDonough. He shoots. And it's deflected wide. Rangers with Nash, Zuccarello, Brassard, Boyle, and McDonough. And Zuccarello fires out to Brassard. Winds up and tries a save on a deflection. Nash got his stick on it. And Nielsen with a good save.
Yeah, and even Dan Boyle moved into the slot. We've seen Dan Boyle make those plays lately. There's the shot again. And Nash was there, Boyle was there, a couple of the Oilers, and that puck nearly went through the legs of Nielsen, but he was able to cover up and make the save.
Rangers have had power play goals in 3 of the last 4 games, 4 for 14. And over the last 12 games, they are 10 for 38. Nash. Now McDonough quickly to Zuccarello. Pass across was tipped by Eric Greiber. Greiber checking Boyle, whacking at him with a stick. Boyle goes down, the pass up to Brassard. McDonough for Zuccarello.
See, Boyle essentially has taken the spot of Stepan.
There he is. He missed the net. That right-handed shot.
Well, and playing a forward position.
Zuccarello moves in. His shot saved by Nielsen. Shot got through a screen. And the Oilers able to clear. Oilers penalty kill is in the middle of the pack, so around 15th in the league. They're 16 for their last 18 over the last 6 games. Kevin Hayes carrying with Lindbergh, Kreider, Yandle, and JT Miller. Hayes to Miller. Miller with some room. Back to Yandle. Tanked it into the corner.
Yeah, he tried right at the last minute, Sam. He decided to not shoot, try to make a pass.
Feeds Miller. Miller fakes, feeds Yandle for the shot. And blocked. Oh, big block by Pakarinen. Stopped in center by Yandle. Pakarinen on him and able to clear it all the way down. That'll do it for the Rangers power play. 3 shots on goal on the power play. Team's back at full strength. And offside whistle on the play. 7:26 to go. First period at the Garden, and the Rangers lead it 1-0. DraftKings brings us our DraftKings Spotlight. Spotlight on the rookie Brady Shea. His season with the Wolfpack, 27 games, 2 goals, 9 assists, leading the Wolfpack defenseman in assists and points. Preseason, played a couple of games, looked very good, as Joe mentioned, with 3 points. He's 21 years old, 2012 first-round draft pick. Play daily fantasy hockey on DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of the New York Rangers.
Dan, while you were reading that, a real nice ovation as they showed on the big screen here our old friend, now the goaltender that played last night.
Cam Talbot.
Talbot for Edmonton.
He deserves that.
He sure does. Oh, he was. And go back to last year, that 2-month stretch he had when Henrik Lundqvist was hurt. Boy, oh boy, he was awfully good.
Played around by Nikitin. Hall with a touch pass, and Draisaitl brings it out. Teddy Purcell after. Mark Stahl is there first. Behind the net, McDonough. Off the boards to Stahl.
Now that line with Draisaitl and Hall back together now.
Kept in by Edmonton. Draisaitl's got it. McDonough on him. Now Taylor Hall. Checked by Mark Stahl. Lundqvist goes out to get the puck. Fires it around the glass. Sekera blocked it. Got ahead for Stallberg, and he's able to come out with it. 6.5 minutes to go in the first. Ooh. Nielsen almost left the post too soon. There was some room in there. Puck to bounce off it. Brinkhammer sends it in the Rangers zone. Back to Rath, bumps with him. Around for Edom. Kept in by Jordan Eberle. It's kept by Lundqvist. On the pop fly. 6:11 to go in this first period. Rangers leading 1-0. Thursday night on MSG. Rangers are back on the road. Tough place to play. St. Paul, Minnesota, as they take on the Minnesota Wild. Live coverage begins at 7:30 with Fisha Rangers Game Night with Bill Pito. Rangers and the Minnesota Wild Thursday night on MSG. Hope you'll join us.
I would imagine Mr. Stoll will probably be in the lineup for Minnesota.
Yes, we'll see him there.
You know what, Sam? It's great that he got picked up. You know, it really is. He didn't fit the plans here. I'm glad he had a chance to go someplace where, you know, he can stay in the National Hockey League.
And all of the people we talked to this morning, Joe, said the same thing. Good teammate, good man, good face-off man.
Good man. He helped a lot of these centers, get better in the face-off position. The Rangers are going to be shorthanded here. I believe McElrath, is going to get the hook, and that'll put Edmonton on the power play.
Second Oilers power play coming up with 5:40 to go in the first. Blue Seat Memories this day in Rangers history. Presented by Resorts World New York, proud sponsor of the Rangers Blue Seats. This day, December 15th, 1962, Hall of Famer Andy Bathgate began a 10-game goal-scoring streak, which is a Rangers franchise record. Power play Edmonton. They had one shot on goal on their first power play. Nikitin playing it to Taylor Hall. The shot got through, saving Lundqvist. There was an open net. But Nugent Hopkins couldn't handle the hard pass.
And by the time, Sam, he tried to get the puck, Jesper Foss came back down and defended him. Nice job.
Nikitin for Edmonton. Rangers have Stallberg and Nash on now.
The icing.
And it is with McDonough and Stahl on defense. Download MSG Go, the only app that lets you watch MSG Network's coverage of live Knick games anywhere. Download now at the App Store or Google Play. MSG Go is currently available to MSG Network subscribers of participating television providers. Stahl winds it deep. Rangers a 1-0 lead. 5 minutes to go in the first period. Draisaitl stopped at the line, went in ahead of the play. It's offside Edmonton. Rangers 8 shots on goal. Oilers with 4. And there is the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Todd McClellan. He was an assistant coach on Stanley Cup champion Detroit Red Wings team. Went to San Jose. And now, right away, grabbed by Edmonton after the Sharks let him go.
He was a hot item for somebody to grab. And just talking to him before the game, he said we needed a lot of changes around here. Been working on that. He says the players now expect to win. They expect to play well. They expect more from each other. So we still have work to do, but things are moving in the right direction, that's for sure.
And when they get Connor McDavid back, this is it.
And what about Yakupov as well, who was playing really well. He was scoring at a point per game, playing on the right wing with Connor McDavid.
It's almost as if they have too much talent.
And Benoit Pouliot on that side. They lost an entire line. And Sam Weir in Edmonton. That city's got some energy again. It really does. They're excited, about their hockey team. It's been 9 seasons since that team has been in the playoffs.
Yep.
And as of right now, they're tied for the final playoff spot in the Western Conference.
Connor McDavid has a chance to be that very special type player. There's a quick shot that went wide by Hendricks. But he could be something very, very special. He's given a lot of life to the city of Edmonton.
Sure has.
Rangers, McDonough and Stallberg and Nash. Final seconds of the Edmonton power play. Sekera winds up, shot blocked by Nash. The puck loose, power play is over. Another good penalty kill by the Rangers. Teddy Purcell out to Andrej Sekera toward the net. That's blocked by McDonough. Draisaitl missed it. Stahl able to lift it out of the zone. Batted down by Sekera with a glove. Rangers play it. 3:15 to go, first period. A goal by Matt Zuccarello, giving the Rangers the lead. Brassard skates it out. Dumps it into the corner. Tanner Glass after. Checked by Greiba. Brassard swings it around the boards. Everly tied up by McElrath. Zuccarello's pass taken away by Nugent Hopkins. And Davidson, defenseman, sending it ahead. Klinkhammer gets to it. Checked by Shea. Glass with a good pass to Brassard. Drop pass to Zuccarello offside. 2:41 to go in the first period. The upcoming schedule brought to you by Lexus, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Rangers. Thursday night on MSG, Rangers at Minnesota. Friday night on MSG Plus, Rangers at the Winnipeg Jets. At both 8 p.m. starts Eastern Time. Rangers home Sunday night against the Washington Capitals, 7 p.m. on MSG. All those games preceded 1.5 hour by Visa. Rangers game night.
Boy, Washington's on a roll, aren't they, Sam? They go into Pittsburgh. Mike Sullivan, the new head coach, former assistant coach with the Rangers, the new head man in Pittsburgh. And Washington beats them 4-1.
They're 9-1-1, Joe, in the last 11.
Great. Hopefully is stopping everything. Great last night.
And while we have a chance, let's wish Mike Sullivan well. He was a good man to work with. We really enjoyed working with him here in New York. And wish him the best. He was doing a terrific job in Wilkes-Barre.
Right.
The Penguins hired him to replace Mike Johnson.
He was 18-5 down there. And good luck to Mike Johnson. I had a brief conversation with him yesterday, and he said, listen, I understand how these things work, so he's looking forward to whatever that next challenge is. He's a good coach. He's a different personality than Mike Sullivan, and hope they both do well.
And Hendricks, Mark Letestu sends it in. Lundqvist stops it, uses the glass, and Stallberg for Lindbergh. Stopped by Nikitin. Taken back by Keith Yandel.
The best defenseman for Edmonton is out of the lineup. That's Klefbom, who broke his finger against the Rangers. And Nikitin was recalled.
Kopakowski around the boards past Lundqvist. Hendricks with a shot. He gets knocked down. Good play by Stallberg. Not only stopped the shot, he knocked down Hendricks. He's a tough player. Davidson around the boards for Gazdic. Good Gazdic's pass. Comes through Purcell. Is stopped by Brady Shea. Greiba moves it to Davidson. Fakes. Now shoots. Save Lundqvist. Rebound. Save Lundqvist. Gazdic had a chance on the rebound. Long shot by Greiba goes wide. Around to Brandon Davidson. Under a minute to go in the first period. McElrath checking Gazdic.
Gazdic's a big guy. Gazdic's a big, tough guy, and he and McElrath are together now.
Purcell gets knocked down by Tanner Glass. Rangers have been physical here in this first period. Greiba dumps it in. Stahl turns away, gets it up to Zuccarello and across for Nash, a little too far. And it's played by Darnell Nurse to Andrei Sekera. 25 seconds to go in the period. Nurse. Start on the forecheck. That pass intercepted by Zuccarello. To Nash. Deflected off of Nugent Hopkins. Oilers control it. Time winding down, bouncing puck. Played by Zuccarello. And that'll do it for the first period. Good first period for the Rangers. They didn't give up much. Oilers had 2 power play chances. Rangers shut it down. Matt Zuccarello gets his 14th goal of the season. Rangers lead 1-0.
Well, they came out and did what they should do against a team that played last night and traveled to New York late last night. The Oilers won 3-2 in overtime, but that was a tough game against the Bruins. So the Rangers came out quick. They forced turnovers, and they really didn't let Edmonton get going. And, of course, the only goal of the period scored by Zuccarello.
Rangers head off the ice with a lead. We head to the Visa Gameside studio to Al Trautwig. Al.
Hey, Sam, on the Delta Intermission Report, we'll talk to the captain, Ryan McDonough, see how things went for him and the team in the first period, plus what he does when the Rangers bring a new player as Brady Shea joins them tonight. Looked pretty solid. Meanwhile, Steve Valiquette joins us to break down the period via some highlights, and Bill Pito has the Audi MSG 150. It's all coming up on the Delta Intermission Report straight ahead. Only one goal. Matt Zuccarello scored it. 3 straight games for him. Rangers-Oilers with a much different feel than it had last week.
We are back. The city is lit up for the holidays. Boy, is that beautiful. Getting set for the second period, Rangers and the Edmonton Oilers. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. Now, let's take a look for the first time at the Kia Eastern Conference standings. Metropolitan Division, Washington on top. Islanders 3 points behind. Washington 2 games in hand. Rangers at 40 points, third place in the division in playoff spot. The other side of the Atlantic, Montreal, Detroit, and Ottawa in playoff spots. Bruins and Devils have the wild card spots, but look how close it is. Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay, 1 point out of a playoff spot. Florida, 2 points back. Philadelphia, 4 points back. Buffalo, 5 points. Everybody's in it, Joe.
I know. And there's only 50 games left in the season.
But you know, that time, as Yogi says, it gets late early.
It does. Like we didn't have room for Columbus on that sheet. And
what'd you think of Brady Shea in the first period?
Liked him a lot, actually. You know, he played. He was aggressive. He moved in the offensive zone when he thought the time was right, and that was, 3 or 4 times. Made a couple defensive plays. I liked his game.
Rangers with a 1-0 lead. Brassard, Zuccarello, and Nash. Stahl and McDonough. The Rangers 5. Dan Girardi out with a swollen knee. He's day-to-day. Kevin Klein has been skating and is getting close. In fact, there's a good chance he may go on the road trip to Minnesota and Winnipeg with the team. Derek Stepan has also been skating and is improving, but not yet ready to come back. Kevin Klein is a lot closer to coming back than Derek Stepan. Nielsen plays it to Nurse, quickly around to Sekera, and Nugent Hopkins plays it ahead to Jordan Eberle. McDonough and Klinkhammer after the puck. Eberle try to move it. Stahl lets Miller play it. Here comes Kreider. Kreider one-hands it ahead, and there he goes. Bumps there with Brandon Davidson. Back behind the net. Taylor Hall reverses. Davidson pressured by Jesper Fast. Teddy Purcell's pass across, sent right back in by McElrath. Davidson plays it out to Draisaitl. And Lundqvist. Around for McElrath, quickly out to Jesper Fast. Tucked in by JT Miller. Miller after the puck.
Edmonton's missing a player, by the way, Sam. They're one short. We'll try and find out which one is not there.
Taylor Hall dropping it back to Nikita Nikitin. Nikitin started his NHL career with St. Louis, on to Columbus, and now in his second season with the Oilers.
A big free agent contract.
Yeah.
He's making $4.5 million, and they just recalled him from the minor leagues.
Schultz around the boards for Korpikoski. I'm told by producer Kate Stewart that Euro Pekarainen is the man.
Got hit with a shot late in the first period. Meanwhile, Sam, I think the Rangers are going to have to play a better period than they did in the first period. They played solid, but generally what happens with teams, and I'm sure the coach said, okay, we got through that first period. We got our legs a little bit. Let's start skating. Let's pick up the pace here a little bit. So I think that's the expectation that the Rangers would have, which means that they've got to be better as well.
Taylor Hall had it knocked away. Heads up. play by Emerson Edom. Darnell Nurse. Sekera around the boards. All the way down, no icing on the play. Moore's pass was taken away by Luke Gosdick. And now Sekera with a shot. Gloved by Lundqvist with Gosdick in front, waving at it, looking for a deflection.
Yeah, Lundqvist able to find it through the stick and the crowd, and turnover by the Rangers. Dominic Moore tried to pass through his legs right here and ended up misfiring on the play, and that led to some zone time for Edmonton and the eventual shot that came from the point. Here's the wrist shot, players in front. Gosdick's with his stick waving at the puck, and Lundqvist able to find it.
Face-off win by Brassard. He kicks the puck over to Rick Nash, who shoots wide. That's a little play by Brassard. Sekera try to move it. Everly plays it back to Darnell Nurse. Klinkhammer fires for Nugent Hopkins. Lundqvist for McDonough. Rangers moving the puck well. Zuccarello down the middle. Mark Stahl. Zuccarello cuts in. And it's whistled down offside. Rangers. 3:10 gone by in this second period. Let's check out our Cadillac trivia question of the night. Laurie Korpikoski recorded his first NHL hat trick Friday. Prior to Korpikoski, who was the last ex-Ranger to score a hat trick against the Rangers? Okay.
Oh, that laugh means you have it already.
No. That means it's too tough.
Oh.
That means I got no shot.
Last ex-Ranger.
Think of every ex-Ranger and the last hat trick against the Rangers. Okay. On the boards, chipped out by Kreider. Hall plays it back to Davidson. Nice move. And deep, Taylor Hall against Brady Shea. Around it comes to Teddy Purcell. Lundqvist got a stick on that. And fast pass intercepted by Purcell. The setup for Hall. He just missed the rebound. A save by Lundqvist. Draisaitl nearly tucked it in. Good play by Lundqvist. Shot by Nikitin went off of Jesper Fast. Rangers able to clear it out.
Oilers have some jump to start this period.
That line, Taylor Hall and Leon Draisaitl with Teddy Purcell has played well. The puck deflects out of play. 4:04 gone by in this second period. Bring the whole family and get this close with the Westchester Knicks. Great seats are available. Tickets starting at $10 are on sale now. Visit westchesterknicks.com. Hayes, Lindbergh, and Stallberg come out. Lindbergh will take the face-off against Matt Hendricks. Schultz for Mark Letestu. That deflected wide of the net.
Hit Hendricks in the helmet. I know he tried to duck out of the way. To catch a piece of him as he was going in front.
Letestu back for Schultz. Off the skate of McElrath, who fell down. In deep save, Lundqvist. And the rebound shot wide by Hendricks. With Lundqvist away from the play, and then we get a whistle on a penalty call. Looks like against the Rangers, Dylan McElrath for hooking, I believe. Let's see. No, it's Oscar Lindbergh going off.
Boy, and what a second chance as well. When Lundqvist didn't have a stick, Hendricks had a chance. Edmonton has come out. They've had some good chances here in the early going. Here's the first chance by Korpikoski. And then the last chance by Hendricks. Stahl was actually bumped out of the way from behind on the play, and Rangers end up with a penalty.
Third power play of the game for the Oilers. They're 0 for 2. Face-off win by Dominic Moore. Moore and Fast, McDonough and Stahl. for the Rangers penalty kill, and they clear all the way down. Lindbergh's second minor of the game, hooking at 4:37. Teddy Purcell carries it across. Nugent Hopkins to Taylor Hall. Justin Schultz, Leon Draisaitl, 4 forwards, 1 defenseman. Draisaitl, Purcell back to Draisaitl. Through to Hall. He goes to the net and he scores. Taylor Hall with a power play goal has tied the game at 1.
Well, Alain Vigneault not very happy with the call that put his team short-handed. And Taylor Hall, boy, oh boy, what a season he is off to. The puck movement, Taylor Hall's on the left point, number 4. He'll just slide in, find that lane, the seam, waits. And he just waited and waited and waited for Lundqvist to make a move. And eventually he does. He goes right through the legs of Henrik Lundqvist. And Edmonton's off to a good start. The Rangers in the first 5 minutes and 12 seconds without a shot here in the second period. And coach is not happy.
He's letting Gord Dwyer know. Gord Dwyer has said something back to the coach. Now Brassard and Gord Dwyer having words in the face-off circle or center ice. So the Oilers have tied it. Taylor Hall with his 15th goal of the season. He has 35 points. He's 4th in the league in scoring. He's tied for 5th in the league in goals. Having a tremendous season. Off the boards for Brassard. Brassard checked by Darnell Nurse. Nash. Nash battling Sekera, got the stick in, and the penalty on Andrej Sekera for hooking. Rangers will get a power play.
Now Sekera was one of the free agent acquisitions by the Edmonton Oilers. He signed a 5-year deal after being traded, and there you see him with the stick on Nash, who goes down, and so the Rangers, after giving up a power play goal, go on the power play themselves.
Nash helping that one out by closing that arm on the stick. And he was tugged down by Sekera. The second Rangers power play is presented by Volkswagen. Rangers 0 for 1 on the power play in the game. Game tied at 1. And a face-off win in the clear by the Oilers. Sekera for hooking at 5:41. Rangers start the power play with Miller, Kreider, Lindbergh, Yandel, and Hayes. Pass back is out of the zone. Kreider regroups. Kevin Hayes with the puck. Hayes carries in all the way across to Keith Yandel. Tries to tee it up. Pass into the middle off the stick of Kreider. Yandel back to Hayes. Hayes looks, shoots, blocked in front by Greiba. The puck to the line, kept in by Yandel. Good play. Kreider feeds Lindbergh. Out to Yandel. Now to Hayes. Across to Yandel. Winds up. That shot knocked down in front. Did not get through. Yandel to Hayes. Lindbergh in the slot. Kreider's got it. Tried to feed Lindbergh. He was checked by Hendricks. And the Oilers able to clear.
Yeah, and that's going to give them a chance to make a change. That group that was out there, 3 of the 4 get a change now. They were tired. They didn't have much energy left.
Rangers change power play units. McDonough and Boyle. Boyle with the puck. Leaves it for Nash. Nash, Zuccarello, and Brassard. Brassard checked there by Korpikoski, who forced him out of the zone.
Now, that's one of the strengths of Korpikoski. Yeah. He's not known for his goal scoring, even though he had the hat trick last week in Edmonton. He's been known more for his defensive prowess and penalty killing.
Schultz. Zuccarello gets to it in the corner. 5 seconds to go in the power play. McDonough had to go out of the zone on him. And Boyle has it. Power play is over. Rangers did not get a shot on goal on the power play. Nurse blocked the shot by Brassard. Brassard tried to tap it in off the goaltender. Nielsen made a save. 7:48 gone by. Here in the second, it's 1-1.
Well, from our Volvo telestrator, here's probably something that Alain Vigneault wasn't happy about. First, let's keep an eye on those two players. That's Hendricks and McElrath. Hendricks takes him down. That leads to this break-in opportunity for Korpikoski. This will be one chance, and then right after that, look at the cross-check in front. Right here. Stahl gets knocked out of the way. He gets cross-checked down, and then that chance by Hendricks, who started the play out in the neutral zone, just missed. So I think the coach might have looked at those two and gone, wait a second, he made the wrong call.
And shot and score! Dylan McElrath with his first NHL goal! And the Rangers regain the lead. It's 2-1. Oh, give that man the puck.
And now, Sam, in watching him play, this is his 7th consecutive game now. The Rangers first win the faceoff. That's Brassard, who's been so good on faceoffs. And then McElrath, we've seen him, or pardon me, Moore wins the faceoff. And McElrath, who has not been shy about getting the shot, taking it immediately. We've talked about the velocity that he has on the shot. Boy, he got everything behind that, and then gets some help from in front of the net, where Emerson Edom is for the screen, and the Rangers regain the lead.
We talked about the Rangers' fourth line in the pregame show and how important it is, and the Rangers solidifying that fourth line. Emerson Edom getting time. Tanner Glass, a save by Nielsen. And that fourth line wins the face-off. They're on the ice for the goal by Dylan McElrath.
They win the face-off, and then they get to the net. It made it difficult for Nielsen to see that shot.
The cheers go up for Dylan McElrath.
Good for him. Boy, he deserves something good to happen on the offensive side.
He's done a nice job. JT Miller's without a helmet. Down by the boards. Near side. Sekera for Edmonton. McElrath, his first NHL goal. Eberle with a shot. Tough save by Lundqvist. Yandel and Moore get the assist. Yandel with 2 assists in the game. Rangers have the lead for the second time.
Now, what those defense did, Sam, they switched sides on the faceoff, so if they win it, they could, just as we saw it, they could slide it over to McElrath, who was playing his offside, so he could take the shot right off the pass. That's one of those plays that works to perfection. Win the faceoff cleanly, give it to the other man who switched sides, and Yandel makes a nice little move, and there's McElrath on his offside to blast in his first NHL goal.
How many times we see them do that in practice?
Oh, yeah.
There it is in the game, that one-timer.
They have a lot of face-off plays. It's a hand pass, so the whistle blows there. But the Rangers, they work a lot on face-off plays, and you know the thing that has to happen is you have to win the face-off first. Good for him.
Dominic Moore, the man who got that puck for him. To medical trainer Jim Ramsey, and that will be done up nicely. Save that puck.
Good for him. He's been through an awful lot, that kid. He's had a lot of injuries.
And he's had a nice start to his career. He's playing, this is his 13th game. He's an even player. And for a defenseman, and a rookie defenseman, that's a good start. That shot was missed by Davidson, picked up by Zuccarello. Davidson plays it off the boards. Draisaitl, who had an assist on the Taylor Hall goal. Those two both had 4-point games in Edmonton's win over the Rangers Friday night in Edmonton. Draisaitl had 4 assists. Pass by Nash just got by Yandel. Zuccarello's shot was steered away. Here's Nash. Backhands it in front of deflection. A save by Nielsen. Good shift by Brassard, Zuccarello, and Nash.
Yeah, and that was Yandel that moved in from the point to deflect that shot. Had he missed it, it might have been a tap-in on the other side for Zuccarello.
Hendricks got it through for Letestu. Hendricks around the net. Out to Sekera. And deep for Letestu. On him is Hayes. Korpikoski with Yandel checking him. Those are good buddies from the days in Phoenix, when they were teammates for several years. Hayes. Sekera back for it. Hayes all over him. Knocked away by Lindbergh to Stolberg. Nurse leaves it for Hendricks. 9:05 to go in the second period. Rangers a 2-1 lead. Ooh, hit. Knocked down Brady Shea. Hendricks is a good, tough, physical player. Here's Everly against Shea. Shea stayed with him.
Oh, what a nice play. 2-on-1, and he closed on Everly in a hurry. That's that skating we talked about.
Gazdic. It's off the boards out to center where Boyle lifted ahead. Knocked down by Luke Gazdic. Drops it off for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Gazdic. Boyle on him. For Korpikoski. Yandel checks in. Now Nikita Nikitin looking for an opening. It's blocked. He's blocked by Dominic Moore. Fires hard around the boards. Schultz able to keep in to Gazdic. Good job by the Oilers here. Hard shot by Purcell was stopped by Lundqvist. Boyle has the puck. Unable to clear. Kept in. Now it's taken back by Yandel. Rangers able to get out. Tanner Glass plays it ahead. Under 8 minutes to go in the second. Schultz. Nice play by Jesper Fast. Down the boards, Nikitin for Hall. Back the other way. Kreider gets there. Shot was blocked by Schultz. Schultz moves it to Taylor Hall. Right on him, JT Miller. Giveaway to McDonough. Shot tipped just wide by Miller. Now Kreider. The boards. Mark Stahl. Around to Jesper Fast. JT Miller. Makes a move on Draisaitl. Draisaitl stays with him. Rangers have kept the puck in the Oilers zone for quite some time. Now the Oilers come out. That's knocked down by Miller. I want to give a shout out to JT's brother, Matt, who's playing in the USHL in Youngstown. He is committed to go to Ohio State University.
20 years old, third year in the USHL. Congratulations. Good for them.
Saw the Miller brothers in that great beginnings piece the other night on MSG. JT looked at us yesterday and said, "You watched that?" "Yeah, it was good, JT." "Oh, okay, thanks." From crowning a champion to nominating a president, Wednesday, December 23rd. Don't miss the premiere of MSG Network's exclusive, all-new 10-part series, The Garden's Defining Moments, presented by SAP. It all starts Wednesday, December 23rd, after the Knicks take on LeBron and the Cavs, only on MSG Network. Justin Schultz, 6:25 to go, second period. Rangers with a 2-1 lead. Zuccarello a goal in the first period. Taylor Hall for Edmonton here in the second. And then Dylan McIlrath with his first NHL goal. Nash trying to play it is tied up by Matt Hendricks. Mark Letestu, number 55, digging for it. Boyle is there. Played around by Anton Lander. Shot by Greiba, blocked in front.
That hit Zuccarello and hurt.
Brought back in by Hendricks. Checked there by Boyle. On the boards for Letestu. Yandel with a good play. Yandel trying to get away from Eberle. Lifts it out of the zone. Eberle back in for Edmonton. Takes it deep. The backhander goes all the way through. Greiba missed it. Nash pushes it out. Davidson fired it away. Zuccarello picks it up. Across. And plays it deep in the Rangers' change. McIlrath hustles back for the puck. Shea. Rangers with Dylan McIlrath and Brady Shea on together. 2 first-round draft picks. Up the boards, McIlrath stops and shoots, deflected, gloved as it was going wide by Anders Nilsson. 4:56 to go. Second period. Dylan McIlrath, special night at the Garden, his first NHL goal. Now Now it's time for our Timberland Pro Hard Hits highlights. Joe?
It's been a pretty physical game thus far. You know, every time Tanner Glass gets a chance, he hits somebody hard. And so the Oilers on the other end. And Hendricks with a good hit on Brady Shea.
Shea checking the video board, see what's up. Star Wars. It's Star Wars time. Cheers go up for Liam Neeson, who's in the house. Big Rangers fan, great actor.
Not in Star Wars.
No. Stopped in center by McDonough. Fires it back in. Lindbergh. Darnell Nurse on him. Take it back. Kevin Hayes. Quick shot by Stolberg. Just missed. Good play by Hayes on the setup. That was going wide. Nielsen able to glove it and stop play with 4:33 to go here in the second. Join the Rangers for their 22nd annual Toys for Tots Toy Drive, presented in part by Lexus. On December 21st, bring an unwrapped toy to the theater at Madison Square Garden and receive an autograph from a Rangers player. For details, visit NewYorkRangers.com. And Ranger fans have been so generous down through the years at this time, this holiday time, to make this holiday season special for so many kids. Moore, Glass, and Edom. Face-off win by Moore. Shot by Yandel, blocked in front by Schultz. Edom. Lander on him. Nikitin moves it for Nugent Hopkins. Off the end boards, McElrath. He absorbed the hit. He got ready for him. He actually threw his shoulder into Nugent Hopkins. Eberle puts it in front, and Emerson Edom was there. McElrath trying to move it, stopped by Anton Lander. Yandel clears it out.
Rangers have been good on face-offs, winning 18 to Edmonton's 11.
Fired in by Dustin Schwartz. Not many shots in this game. 12 apiece. Edmonton with 6 here in the second period. Rangers only 3 here in the second. Nice pass. Korpikoski got it from Hendricks, but he's forced back. Good pickup there by Shea. Ortescu poked away by Brady Shea. Hendricks has it. Set up in front. And a shot deflected wide. I don't believe Lundqvist got a piece of it. Boyle leads Miller. Ryba. Boss went down. Miller comes away with the puck. Strider has to get out in front. The back pass. Shea to Boyle. Boyle with a shot gloved by Nielsen. He holds it. Play stops with 2:56 to go in the second period. Rangers lead the Oilers 2-1. All right, let's answer the Cadillac trivia question. Lauri Korpikoski recorded his first NHL hat trick Friday against the Rangers. Prior to Korpikoski, who was the last ex-Ranger to score a hat trick against the Rangers. Any idea?
I'm going to say Doug Weight.
Doug Weight, that's a nice guy. I have no idea. So the answer is Alex Kovalov, 2002. January 5th, 2002.
Shouldn't have traded him.
Hey, he's ready to come back anytime. Just give him a call.
I'm sure.
He figures Jaromir Jagr's still going strong. Speaking of Jagr, I think he's out of the lineup tonight, but Florida is leading the Islanders 3-1 in the second period.
Well, Islanders one of the hottest teams in the league, 8-0-2 in their last 10 going into tonight's game.
Taylor Hall moves in. McDonough's there. Good job by McDonough with help from Stahl. They double team Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall, when he has the puck, looks like the most dangerous player.
He is, Sam, but he not only has speed, but he's strong. You know, he's difficult to knock off his feet.
Zuccarello, good pass for Oscar Lindbergh. He got tangled up with Nikita Nikitin. McDonough trying to keep it in, does. Zuccarello against Darnell Nurse.
Both these teams defensively have really done a good job. Blocking shots, forcing shots wide. 25 total shots, and we're just about through the second period.
Pass across, open man. Eberle moves to the net. He scores! So the Rangers make a mistake, and the Oilers, those talented forwards we talked about, make them pay. Eberle comes in all alone and ties it at 2.
Now we're going to take a look from our Buick RoboCam. First, McDonough pinches in, and then Shea just bans on the shot, or on the pass, pardon me. He just goes off his heel, and very quickly Edmonton turns it into this. And boy, this is the guy you don't want with this kind of room. What a pair of hands he has. We focused on him in the open, and look at those hands. Weights and just a little flip of the wrist, and a late goal in the second ties it.
RoboCam replay brought to you by the new Buick. Buick, your kind of luxury. Jordan Eberle ties it late in the second period. Eberle with the puck again sends it in. McElrath checked by Luke Gazdic. Nugent Hopkins off the board to Schultz. Down to Keaton, back to Schultz. Wrist shot is blocked by Lindberg. That shot blocked in front by McElrath. Lindberg, Gazdic on him. Eberle gets his 8th from Nugent Hopkins at 18:20 to tie the game. Oilers with 2 goals here in the second. Rangers have had 1.
Too many men on the ice for Edmonton. I believe, I might be wrong, but I think the Rangers are going to get a late power play.
Gazdic dove to try to get over the boards to the bench in time.
And he wasn't the only one. It looked like there were 2 of them to me that were on the ice. And so the Rangers, after giving up the goal, have a chance to get something here by the end of the period. Just under a minute to go.
Gazdic going to the penalty box.
You see all those Oiler players are... Gazdic just dives to try and prevent the too many men on the ice penalty. It was a little late, and so the Rangers back on the power play.
51.7 seconds remaining in the period. Rangers' 3rd power play. They're 0 for 2. McDonough to Brassard, moves in. His shot went off the skate. Picked up by Zuccarello. Zuccarello, Nash, Brassard, Boyle, and McDonough, and score! Rick Nash stuffed it in on the rebound. Rick Nash, it's a power play goal, and the Rangers lead for the 3rd time in the game.
Wow, what a huge goal that is for the Rangers at this time of the game. This building had quieted down after Eberle tied the game, and the Rangers come right back. The initial shot doesn't get through. Zuccarello is able to go get it, find Rick Nash, and Rick Nash with that strong move gets his own rebound and puts it in. So good hustle from Zuccarello, and a good second effort by Rick Nash to give the Rangers the 3-2 lead.
Rangers have had power play goals in 4 of their last 5 games. 1 for 3 in this game. And the Rangers, as opposed to the game in Edmonton, where they never got the lead, Rangers got the lead 3 times in this one. As time winds down in the second period. A good response. After the Oilers had tied it on the Eberle goal, Rick Nash gets his 10th of the season. Rangers now have 4 players in double figures in goals scored. Zuccarello, Brassard, Lindberg, and now Nash. Time for our Papa John's 3rd goal replay, Joe.
Well, the power play for the Rangers. The initial shot. Zuccarello is able to corral the rebound, and the quick pass to Rick Nash catches the defenseman out high, and that allows Nash to just cut hard to the net. Gets 1 shot, then his rebound, then the goal.
The day after the Rangers score 3 or more goals, get 50% off your regular menu priced online order at papajohns.com with promo code Rangers3. Available at participating Papa John's locations. The Oilers scored at 18:20 to tie it. The Rangers scored at 19:21, a minute 1 second later to regain the lead. Nash is 10th from Zuccarello and Brassard at 19:21, a power play goal. And the Rangers head off with a 3-2 lead.
Well, that was a period where Edmonton came out much stronger than they did in the first period. The Rangers survived the early part, and then both teams played real strong defensive games until the one mistake by the Rangers and the power play goal by the Rangers.
1-goal lead after the second. Here's Al with what's coming up between periods. Al.
Sam, it's the New York Lottery intermission report, and there's nothing like scoring your first NHL goal. We'll talk to Dylan McIlrath about the experience. Plus, Bill Pito has the Audi MSG 150, and Steve Valiquette will join me to break down what we see and what we saw in that second period. It's the New York Lottery intermission report. A busy goal-scoring second period, but the ones that come with the final seconds always seem to hurt a little bit more. Rick Nash with the goal. The Rangers celebrate a 3-2 lead with 1 period to go.
We are back and getting set for the third period. Rangers and Edmonton Oilers. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. Let's find out what the coaches are thinking. The man who talked with the coaches, John Giannone.
Yeah, Sam, I talked to assistant coach Joel Samuelson, who breathed a sigh of relief, said Rick Nash's goal should be a momentum builder for sure. Then interestingly said a late goal like that is tough to swallow, especially for a team playing on back-to-back nights. He said it should be energy for the Rangers in the third. When I asked him what he's like so far, he said we played a solid game and we had it going until we got too complicated at times in the neutral zone. He said we didn't get their defensemen turning. When they were doing that, they would just rim pucks around, and we had guys on the boards to take possession. We stopped doing that. He said we want to try to get back to doing that and not play a game of ping pong in the third. Finally, I asked about Brady Skjei. He said other than the sandwich he served up, it looks like he's been real confident and real solid for us. It's going to be a test of his mental strength when he gets back out there, given what happened. We were very positive and encouraging with him in the dressing room. Hopefully he'll go back out and play a solid third period. Guys?
Excellent, John. Thank you. Boy, that covered everything, didn't it?
Even the sandwich covered lunch as well.
Underway, third period. Rangers with a 3-2 lead. Nugent Hopkins was stopped in center. Rangers have Zuccarello, Nash, and Brassard with Yandel and McIlrath. This line of Brassard, Nash, and Zuccarello continues to put up points for the Rangers. Zuccarello with a goal in his game, a goal in 3 straight games, 5 points in his last 3. Nash has 7 points in his last 6, including a goal and an assist tonight. And Brassard has 9 points in his last 8 with an assist tonight. A pass behind J.C. Miller. Eric Gryba backcourt. Miller rides him into the board. And Davidson trying to play it. Miller takes it back. For Jay. Being challenged there by Korpikoski, another former Rangers first-round draft pick. Miller battles Gryba. Good forecheck work by the Rangers. Hendricks fell down, but a good play to work it ahead to Letestu, and now Gryba gets out and dumps it into the Rangers zone.
Now, Sam, I think that'll be important because Edmonton is a team still learning how to play in their own zone. And so I think you just have to continue to put pressure on them if you can, even with the 1-goal lead.
Draisaitl was tied up by Boyle. Teddy Purcell winds it. Taylor Hall. On Draisaitl. Long shot deflected, bounced, and Lundqvist made a tough save. Here's Purcell. Away by Lindbergh. Stolberg pumps with Draisaitl, and Boyle gets it out to Kevin Hayes. 2 minutes gone by in the third. Rangers with a 1-goal lead. Nikitin. Boards into the Rangers zone. Everly after. Centers off the skate. Everly with a goal in the game, giving him 5 in the last 6. Emerson Edom moves in. Got it wide around the boards. Stahl stops it. Sekera playing it across. And Conlander sends it back. Sekera gave it away, and the shot by Moore was blocked. Oh, man, bad giveaway that time by Andre Sekera. And a penalty on the Rangers. Mark Stahl chopped the stick out of the hands of Anton Lander. And the Rangers will be shorthanded.
Boy, the Rangers came that close to making it a 4-2 game after the giveaway by Sekera in his own zone. And that goes from not scoring to the Rangers then taking a penalty. And there you see the slash by Stahl. Lander just dropped the stick. I'm not sure there was much contact.
I guess.
I'm not sure there was any contact, was there? Well, the coach doesn't think so. He looked up at the big screen. Let's see.
Oh, man. Oh, that's an awful call.
That is an awful call. Might have been broken before that.
And a chance for Hall. Good play sliding across by McElrath. Out to Schultz. Power play number 4 for Edmonton. They're 1 for 3 in the game. Nugent Hopkins to Schultz to Purcell. Rangers have Moore and Foss. Foss with a block. Stuck out that right leg and blocked that shot. Foss goes off. Stahlberg is on with Moore, McElrath, and McDonough. 2:40 to time. The penalty called on Mark Stahl for slashing. And the phantom slash. Nugent Hopkins down the boards. Leon Draisaitl. Pops in the air, played by Purcell. Draisaitl's pass was tipped. Nice play by McDonough and a clear by Rick Nash.
Yeah, I used to mention McDonough, Sam. His stick on the ice and right in the passing lane at the last moment to deflect the pass.
Andre Sekera ahead for Mark Letestu, Jesper Fast, and Jordan Eberle go for it. Boards, Sekera. Dominic Moore is on with Fast, Brady Shea, and Dan Boyle. That pass right by Boyle. Shot went wide by Sekera. Eberle stops it, puts it in front. Shea is there, lifts it on the backhand all the way down. 22 seconds to go on the Edmonton power play. Round for Eberle. Brassard has come on with Zuccarello. Taylor Hall swings back. 5 seconds to go in the power play. Mark Stahl set to return. Power play's over. No shots on goal on that power play. Excellent kill in a big, important time of the game. Hall took it away from McElrath. Pass across. Darnell Nurse pulls up. Shot toward the net. Saved by Lundqvist. He's deflected on the way in. Purcell. Checked by McDonough. Try to get it to Draisaitl. Penalty on Stahl. He took down Draisaitl. And Mark Stahl goes right back to the penalty box for high sticking.
And Brassard is upset with Draisaitl about something. And he has some words for Draisaitl as he was still on the ice. Here comes again Stahl. He gets the stick up right across the side of the head and the neck.
That's a legitimate call.
It is. Now we're going to go back to the previous, and the Rangers had just killed off a penalty on Stahl. Let's watch Stahl again. You know what? The first slash broke the stick. So,
okay.
Yeah, right. You'll see it right here. So that's
it.
My mistake on that. My apologies. That was the legitimate call. They didn't miss much, but I do.
I know.
And so that was the right call on Stahl. Both of them.
Good job by the men in the truck to find it. That's a deflection and a save by Lundqvist on a high deflection. The deflection out high on the ice. That long shot deflects in the corner. And it's cleared by Jesper Fast. Stahl high sticking at 5:03. Oilers 1 for 4 on the power play in the game. Rangers leading 3-2. McDonough with a clear. Nash and Stahlberg on the ice. Nash, Stahlberg, Boyle, and McDonough. McDonough stopped Korpikoski. Nash clears.
don't want to forget the women in the truck as well doing a great
course.
job.
They always do.
Let's go Rangers chant up from the crowd. Sekera dropped it back to Nugent Hopkins. Purcell gets it to Draisaitl. Now Nugent Hopkins double teamed. Oh, Jesper Fast. He has been all over the ice.
Well, you had Fost on one side, and Brady Shea stepped up right away also and helped on the play.
Justin Schultz carrying for Edmonton. Lead to Draisaitl. Drives to the net. Good job by Brady Shea to stay with him. It's a strong man. Draisaitl, strong skater. Nash off the board. Missed it. Taylor Hall. Justin Schultz. Save Lundqvist. There's a rebound. Cleared by Victor Ståhlberg.
Boy, the two young players on defense for the Rangers. Brady Shea on one side, McElrath on the other.
Mark Stahl in the penalty box. The youngsters have to play. Important time. Boyle to Fost. Fost to the clear. Power play is over. 2 shots on goal for the Oilers on the power play. 7:15 gone by. Third period. Rangers leading 3-2. Their penalty kill 4 for 5 in the game. Darnell Nurse with the puck for Edmonton. On the boards, Lundqvist slows it down. Yandel for Brassard. Kreider sending it down the ice. Nurse off the glass. Yandel and McElrath on. Here's Zuccarello.
And now the Rangers have to try and get some momentum back. 2 big penalty kills.
Zuccarello was stopped by Gazdic in front of the Rangers bench. Eberle for Eric Gryba. Stick on it. 8 minutes gone by in the third. There's Gazdic. Now Eberle. Checked by Zuccarello. He's moved by Eberle. Shoots missed. Wide. Ooh. Quick. Ooh, boy. Some quick moves and
Doesn't he, Sam?
small amount of
in the
space.
hands, he's able to get a shot off quickly.
Brady Shea sending it around the board. Stopped by Draisaitl. Shea there to take it back. Here comes JT Miller. Miller after it against Gryba. Gryba.
That penalty.
Clipped
He
in the
did by
face.
Miller. I think Miller got hit from one side, and his stick came up when he got hit, and it went into the face of Gryba.
And Miller missed as he took a run at Taylor Hall, but Boyle got a piece of him.
Yeah.
11:14 to go in the third, and the Rangers were shorthanded again.
Have been shorthanded often here in this third period. They'll be shorthanded again. There's the stick of Miller. Catches Gryba up high. And here's the last penalty kill. Brady Shea, real good defensive play there. That's the excellent skating. And then in front, Shea is out there. And along with McElrath, who does a nice job. And then McElrath gives Henrik Lundqvist a pat on the pad, says, way to go. McElrath then says, way to go, Brady Shea.
Miller for high sticking at 8:46. Oilers' third power play of this period. 1 for 5 in the game. 0 for 2 in this period. Chance in front and slid by Draisaitl. Fost broke his stick. He's replaced on the ice by Rick Nash.
McDonough was looking for a hooking penalty right off the faceoff.
McElrath and McDonough, Nash and Ståhlberg on for the Rangers. Nugent Hopkins to Teddy Purcell. Purcell for Nugent Hopkins. Around to Draisaitl. Now Taylor Hall. Nugent Hopkins checked by McDonough. Good job by Ryan McDonough. Out to Hall. Now Schultz. Purcell with room. Pass tipped by Nash. Taylor Hall shoots. Blocked by Dominic Moore. Rangers clear. 10 to go in the Edmonton power play. 10:20 to go in the third period. Rangers holding a 3-2 lead. No scoring here in the third. Korpikoski dropped it off to Matt Hendricks. Hendricks moves in. Shot went off to skate of Boyle. Kept in by Eberle. Now Korpikoski against Boyle. Boyle ties him up. Eberle intercepted by Boyle and cleared by Jesper Fast. Good shift for Dan Boyle. 40 seconds to go in the Edmonton power play. Andre Sekera. Rangers have Nash and Stallberg back on. McDonough and McElrath. Nash with a good play. The takeaway moves in with Stallberg. Shoot, save, rebound goes wide. Carried wide by Hendricks. Rangers one of 5 teams in the NHL to not have scored a power play, a shorthanded goal this season. Draisaitl for Hall. Zuccarello with a good play on him. Pass back to Darnell Nurse. Nurse with McDonough in front of him. Out to Nikitin. Down low. Deflection blocked by McElrath. Excellent play by McElrath, and the power play is over. Edmonton with no shots on goal on that power play. Rangers penalty kill 5 for 6 in the game. 9 minutes to go in the third. 3-2. Rangers leading it. Stahl back on. 11 minutes of playing time here in the third. The Rangers have been shorthanded for 6 minutes. Long shot, save on a deflection. Great save by Lundqvist on Leon Draisaitl. JT Miller challenges Darnell Nurse. Nurse stays with him. Miller still with it. Zuccarello. Now Brady Shea saved by Anders Nielsen, and he holds on. 8:29 to go. Third period. Rangers hold a 3-2 lead. Experience the lounges at Madison Square Garden, a spectacular group and hospitality space on the bridge level. For more info, call 212-465-6080 or visit NewYorkRangers.com.
Now here's a look at our Coke Zero Super Slow-Mo. Here's the shot from Darnell Nurse. And the deflection in front from Draisaitl, and Henrik Lundqvist with the left arm gets a piece of it. Then Brady Shea over on the other side does a nice job, so Hall can't get to the replay. Or rebound, pardon me.
All the way around, and Hendricks sends it in. 8:20 to go in the third. Rick Nash. Nash's goal in the final minute of the second period, a power play goal, giving the Rangers the 3-2 lead. Saved by Lundqvist, a clear from in front by Zuccarello. Brassard, Hendricks, and the referee got tangled up. Up the boards, Greiba. Long shot, wide. Oh, tough shot by Eric Greiba. Another shot was blocked. Zuccarello blocking the shot of Brandon Davidson. There's Greiba. Into the Rangers zone. Mark Stahl there to play it. Heavily bumped in. McDonough backhands it around for Jesper Fast. Loose puck picked up by Miller. Moves in, dropped to Kreider. Kreider's shot deflects into the corner. Fast. Taken away by Gazdic. Gazdic drops it in. Stahl looks around. Nice pass. Fast off the boards to Kreider. Kreider moves in on Justin Schultz. Kreider shoots, save by Nielsen. Good shot by Chris Kreider. Penalty call. A holding call on the Oilers. Gives the Rangers a power play with 7:11 to go in the third.
Boy, how about Mark Stahl making a very calm play in his own zone, holding on to the puck, ends up on his backhand, soft little pass, which is a nice pass, and then a little play off the boards. That's just real nice passes on the breakout. Leads to that chance by Chris Kreider. And then Nugent Hopkins on the other side gets called for holding.
Rangers power play, their fourth of the game. Face-off win by Brassard. Brassard, Nash, Zuccarello, Boyle, and McDonough for the power play. There's Brassard. Now McDonough cross to Zuccarello. His shot blocked by Hendricks. Goes into the Edmonton bench. The penalty was Nugent Hopkins for holding at 12:49. Coming up, the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, the wonder of it all. Brassard and Anton Lander for the face-off, won by Lander. Fired around the boards by Greiba, and all the way down it goes. 6:45 to go, third period. Rangers maintaining a one-goal lead. They've led in this game 3 times, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. Zuccarello against Brandon Davidson. The takeaway by Korpikoski, and he fires it all the way down on goal. McDonough. Lindbergh has come on. Kreider has come on. Lead to Brassard. Offside whistled on the play. 6:15 to go in the third. 1:04 to go on the power play. Visit the Rangerstown Rink at Westchester County's Winter Wonderland. Enjoy Rangers alumni appearances and activities every weekend through January 3rd. Visit NewYorkRangers.com for more information. That'll be a fun time. Lindbergh, Kreider, Hayes, Yandel, and Miller on for the Rangers. Miller. Korpikoski on him. Hayes with good support. Miller has it back. 45 seconds to go in the power play. Kevin Hayes finds it. Down comes Miller. Sekera's there, poked at it. Rangers get it back to Yandel. Ahead for Miller. Miller had it knocked away by Korpikoski. Sekera moves it around the board. Hayes overskated it. And a whistle. Penalty called. Slashing call.
Got to be against the Rangers, right? They had the puck.
They had the puck. Nobody heading for the box. Right? No. Oh, it's on Anton Lander of Edmonton.
Wonder why they blew the whistle. The Rangers had control of the puck.
Rangers will have a 2-man advantage for 24 seconds. All right, let's see.
Let's see it again.
There it is.
There's Lander there. Slash of the stick. They might have just made contact with the puck. Maybe it's just a little bit of a late whistle. Well, nonetheless, the Rangers with an opportunity here.
Face-off key.
Yeah, 1-goal lead.
Oilers won the draw and the clear,
Yep.
so that will kill most of the 2-man advantage. Lander for slashing at 14:25. Here's McDonough carrying in. 10 seconds to go on the 2-man advantage. Hard around the boards for Zuccarello. Back to Boyle. Rangers set up. Boyle sets up McDonough. 5-on-3 is over. Pass right through the crease. Just missed by Brassard. Taken out by Nugent Hopkins. 2-on-1 developing with Davidson. A shot, a save by Lundqvist. He covers the rebound.
Henrik Lundqvist has made some big saves in this third period. He is the best quality chances for Edmonton have come in this third period. Of course, the Rangers, they're shorthanded 3 times. There's the pass across. That just missed as Nugent Hopkins was just coming out of the penalty box. Rangers did a good job. That was Zuccarello that came back hard on the other side and took the pass away and forced Nugent Hopkins to take the shot.
1:20 to go in the Rangers power play. It's a 5-on-4 advantage here. Rangers officially 1 for 4 on the power play in the game. Miller's pass blocked by Mark Letestu. And Sekera lifts it on the backhand. Meanwhile, time is ticking off the clock, and that certainly works in the Rangers' favor as they hold on the 1-goal lead. Lead to J.T. Miller. Miller carries deep, goes back to Yandel. Across, right through. Kreider to Miller. He shoots, saved by Nielsen. Nielsen hugging the post didn't give Miller much to shoot at. 4:24 to go in the third. 49 seconds to go in the Rangers power play.
Yeah, nice puck movement by the Rangers. And Anders Nielsen has looked much sharper in this game than he did in the game in Edmonton, even though he won the game 7-5. He looked shaky in that one, but he's been solid in this one.
He has a 5-game winning streak going coming into this game. Face-off win Brassard. McDonough to Zuccarello, saved by Nielsen. Brassard around the boards to Zuccarello. Out to him, Korpikoski. Zuccarello takes it back. And Boyle. Oh, good effort by Korpikoski. That puck out of the zone. Offside as McDonough pulled it back in. 33 seconds to go in the Rangers power play. Thursday night on MSG, Rangers, a 2-game road trip begins in Minnesota against the Wild. We'll be on the air at 7:30. Visa Rangers game night with Bill Pito. And then at 8 o'clock, Rangers and the Minnesota Wild. Hope you'll join us on MSG. Rangers will be in St. Paul to play the Minnesota Wild Thursday night, and in Winnipeg to play the Winnipeg Jets Friday night. Keith Yandle. Comes Brassard. Moves deep. Davidson is there. Brassard looks. Feeds Zuccarello. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Yandle to Boyle for the shot. Blocked by Hendricks. At the stick on the puck. Power play is over. Zuccarello shoots just wide around the boards. Anton Lander takes over for Edmonton. 3:25 to go in the third. Offside Edmonton. Make it 3:26 remaining in the third. Rangers holding a 3-2 lead on the Oilers. The game are brought to you by GMC. See the pros nearest you to test drive one of their award-winning trucks, crossovers, or SUVs today. GMC, we are professional grade. Matt Zuccarello with a goal and an assist, giving him a 3-game goal-scoring streak. Rick Nash with a goal and an assist, 5 points in the 2 games against Edmonton. The man on your right, Dylan McIlrath, his first NHL goal. The man on your left is Brady Shea, and he's making his NHL debut. And he's done a nice job.
Well, they played well, those kids, back on defense. They've had to play some real important minutes, especially shorthanded here in the third period. They've done a nice job.
Puck lifted out by McDonough. Racing back for it, Nikita Nikitin. Icing waved off. Nikitin pressured on the play by Fost. Puck out to Teddy Purcell. Purcell fires it hard around the boards for Taylor Hall off his stick. And tipped in by Justin Schultz, but Mark Stahl able to play it ahead. Kept in by Schultz again. McDonough mishandled it. It bounced on him. Dominic Moore off the boards. Tanner Glass trying to force it out of the zone. Tipped in by Purcell. McDonough again. Pressure by the Oilers. Chipped off to Glass and out of the zone by Jesper Fast. Fast has played a real solid game.
Oh, yeah. Defensively,
yes.
Boy, oh boy. He hasn't had to puck all that much, but he has blocked shots and come back. The penalty killing has been very important.
Nugent Hopkins for Eberle. That was stopped by Yandle. It's going to be an offside on Edmonton with 2:17 remaining in the third. And the Rangers leading 3-2. And you're watching the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, the wonder of it all. Visit foxwoods.com now. Rangers have had 5 shots here in the third period. Edmonton 7. 20-20 for the game.
Edmonton gave up 49 shots last night in Boston. Todd McClellan said that was true because that was our first game that seemed like a playoff game the way Boston came at us all night.
Lindbergh with good work. McIlrath lines it deep behind the net for Stolberg. Darnell Nurse on him. Nugent Hopkins takes it up ahead for Letestu. And 48 to go. Sent back in. The dump-in becomes an offside as Oscar Lindbergh was hitting the puck while he was still in the Edmonton zone. 1:45 to go in the third. The Rangers looking for their first win in the last 4 games. Their second win in the last 7. This is the second game of a 4-game road trip for the Oilers. They'll go to Chicago and Colorado. Their next 2 road games. Rangers next 2 games on the road in Minnesota. And Winnipeg. Pass in front just missed by Purcell. Rangers come out with it. Nash battling Davidson. Justin Schultz. Minute 22 to go. Into the Ranger zone. Taylor Hall. Checked by Mark Stahl. McDonough. Able to move the puck up, stopped by Schultz. In front. Taylor Hall shot it wide on the turnaround shot. Anders Nielsen has not left the crease for the Oilers. Now he does. Pass for Purcell, tipped it wide. Edmonton net is empty. Under a minute to go. Rangers lead 3-2. 6 skaters on for the Oilers. Brandon Davidson. 50 seconds to go. Jordan Eberle forced back by Ståhlberg. Draisaitl to Sekera. Lundqvist stops the puck. Fires around the glass. Sekera keeps it in. Long shot blocked by Zuccarello. Hall's pass was blocked. Zuccarello's got it. Now Moore. He shoots. He missed the net. Back behind the net. Draisaitl. 20 seconds to go. Good effort by Victor Ståhlberg all over Leon Draisaitl. Takes the puck away. Eberle's got it. Draisaitl's pass. Stopped by Dan Boyle. Up ahead. Picked up by Moore. He fakes. He moves in. His shot is blocked. 5 seconds to go. Jesper Fast scores! He's done great defensive work throughout the game, and he caps it off with an empty net goal, and the Rangers have put it away.
Now, Dominic Moore did everything he could to score. The turnover, the Rangers go the other way. Dominic Moore will fake. Sekera makes an excellent play to block it, but the puck comes right back to Jesper Fast, who put it into the empty net. And Henrik Lundqvist, hasn't been easy.
Yeah, that feels good. It's over. The Rangers break a 3-game winless streak. Dylan McIlrath got his first NHL goal. Henrik Lundqvist wins his 15th game of the season. Jesper Fast gets an empty net goal, his 5th goal of the season at 1956. And a good night for the Rangers as they come back home for 1 game and make it a winner. 4-2 is the final.
Well, they were much better defensively as a team, and for Brady Skjei, what a night. You start your NHL career at Madison Square Garden, and you step in, you kill penalties, you play a regular shift, you get important minutes. The kid really played well.
It's a good smile.
Oh, boy.
You like that.
You don't think he feels good about this night?
And that was much more like the Rangers we saw in the first quarter of the season, as the Rangers took a lead into the 3rd period, and they held on to the lead even though they were shorthanded 3 times.
Yeah, well, their penalty killing was great. The fact that they were playing one of the hottest teams in the league. Edmonton had won the previous 6 games. We talked about all their speed and their skill. They showed that, but the Rangers played well, and then they got the big saves when they needed to.
Our stars of the game are brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at MBUSA.com. The 3rd star goes to Dylan McIlrath. Yes, sir. Strong game for Dylan McIlrath and his first NHL goal.
Number 36, Matt Zuccarello.
Matt Zuccarello with a goal and an assist. He's got a 3-game goal scoring streak going with 5 points in the 3 games. And the number 1 star goes to Rick Nash. Game-winning goal, a power play goal in the last minute of the 2nd period. A goal and an assist in the game. And the Rangers are now 13-4-1 on home ice this season. They will be moving back into 2nd place in the Metropolitan Division ahead of the Islanders thanks to a 4-2 win. We'll be right back.